This story is a fictionalized scenario inspired by real psychological patterns observed in criminal cases. Its purpose is educational to explore warning signs, behavioral red flags, and the psychology behind dangerous relationships. On a quiet Thursday night, neighbors reported hearing shouting from apartment 3B. It wasn't unusual. They had heard arguments before. What they didn't know was that this argument would be the last. When police arrived, the scene told a story of escalation, not explosion. Because nothing about this began with violence. It began with charm. Maya was 22, bright, ambitious, in her final year of university. She met Daniel at a mutual friend's birthday party. He was calm, attentive, intense in a way that felt flattering. He remembered small details, her favorite coffee order, the name of her childhood dog, the story about her fear of thunderstorms. He listened differently, and that felt rare. Within weeks, they were inseparable. He called her his piece. He said she was different from other girls. At first, it felt like love. Intense attachment early in a relationship can feel romantic, but sometimes, intensity is not connection. It is possession, forming quietly. 3 months in, small things began to change. Daniel didn't like her best friend. He said she was a bad influence. He didn't like Maya going out late. He said, "I just worry about you." He began texting more often. "Where are you? Who are you with? Why didn't you reply?" If she didn't respond within minutes, he would send, "Are you ignoring me?" At first, Maya reassured him. She thought, he's just protective. But protection and control often wear the same mask in the beginning. Here were the warning signs no one labeled as dangerous. He needed constant updates. He isolated her from friends slowly. He framed jealousy as love. He made her feel guilty for independence. None of these are violent behaviors, but they are psychological precursors. Over time, Maya stopped going out as much. It was easier. Less arguing, less tension. Daniel began checking her phone, jokingly at first, then seriously. He would scroll silently, ask about male classmates, question emojis. Her world became smaller, and she adjusted, because humans adapt to emotional environments, even unhealthy ones. Isolation is one of the most powerful control tools. When someone removes your external voices, friends, family, perspective, their voice becomes the loudest one left. And once that happens, reality can be rewritten. 6 months in, arguments became frequent. Daniel accused her of changing. He said she didn't love him the way she used to. He would withdraw affection suddenly, then return with gifts, apologies, tears. This is called intermittent reinforcement. It creates emotional dependency. The brain begins to crave the highs after the lows. It feels addictive. One night, Maya mentioned applying for a graduate program abroad. Daniel went quiet. Too quiet. He asked, "So you're planning to leave me?" She laughed nervously, but his expression didn't change. Over the next week, he became colder, more controlling, more unpredictable. He began saying things like, "If I can't have you, no one will." Sometimes said jokingly, but not really joking. Statements disguised as jokes often reveal real internal thoughts. Threats wrapped in humor are still threats. On that Thursday night, neighbors heard shouting again. But this time, something in the tone was different. Fear. The situation escalated. Police reports later described a scene of panic, broken glass, and irreversible consequences. The tragedy wasn't sudden, it was progressive, layer by layer, ignored sign by ignored sign. Friends later said, "We didn't think it was that serious. She seemed fine. They argued like any couple." But dangerous relationships rarely begin dangerously. They begin subtly, gradually, almost invisibly. Here are the psychological lessons from this story. 1. Control disguised as care is still control. 2. Isolation increases vulnerability. 3. Jealousy framed as passion can become possessiveness. 4. If I can't have you, no one will is never romantic. 5. Intensity is not the same as love. Healthy love does not shrink your world, it expands it. Tragedy is rarely born in a single moment. It grows in silence, in dismissed red flags, in behaviors we excuse because they don't look violent yet. And sometimes, the most dangerous warning signs are the ones that feel the most familiar.